Hi, it's Kirkova here, launching my maiden broadcast, as it were. I'm responding to a video by Evidence entitled Problems with Biblical Morality. I want to say up front, I hold this YouTuber in high regard and I enjoy his videos. That said, there are 2 points I want to address in this video. Hopefully they don't come across as nitpicking. Suffice it to say, they seemed important to me. Now, I haven't yet figured out the finer points of YouTubery, so rather than insert selections of the original video, or put up text of his comments, I'm just going to quote him myself or describe what he says. I recommend anyone watching this view the original video first. Sorry for my technical incompetence. I hope it doesn't detract from my point. Evidence. You start with a selection from another video, an example of the old argument from morality, which you identify, correctly, I would say, as a false dilemma. I would disagree with you, though, about the nature of that dilemma, where you categorize it as either moral relativism or the Bible. I think that may be a little unfair. Certainly, the argument from morality in its traditional form, and like most theistic arguments of the argument from blank format, is not so ambitious as to put the particular morality of the Bible forward as the only alternative to relativism. It only seeks to establish a foothold for theisms in general, and it could be argued, at least from the short clip you start your video with, that Venom Fang X only intended this much, planning to rely on a separate mode of argument to make Christianity more appealing than alternative objective moralities. Not that those arguments wouldn't have had problems of their own. Instead, I think the dilemma between subjective morality and objective morality is false enough on its own, even without mention of the Bible. It completely ignores conventional morality, which appears to be the sort that actually runs the world, in which morality arises from groups of people in the form of cultural attitudes and social contracts. Personally, I think what we have is a conventional morality that arises from evolved sensibilities that were favored by natural selection for their tendency to create stable cohesions in groups of animals, and I might make a video in the future that goes into more detail on those sensibilities. The other issue I had was your choice of an example of the Bible contradicting itself. Now, I'm not saying the Bible doesn't contradict itself, but it seems that a Christian could easily respond that the sixth commandment is not to murder rather than simply to kill, as you say. This is a pretty common response to many arguments involving the sixth commandment, and while it does seem a little slippery in many of those contexts, I can't say the wiggle room isn't there. It does say murder, and whether we like it or not, the argument can be made that killing for God is not murder, at least according to God, always assuming He exists. That's it. And I do enjoy your video, and in fact I just became a subscriber of yours, which incidentally I recommend to anyone watching this who isn't already subscribed. Ciao!